Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to 5 Short Game Reviews. Today, all the games are from the same series. This is called the Itten Fun Brick series. Each of these games comes in a pull-out box like this, and they're very short, tiny little games. I went into this with an open mind because Itten makes some very interesting, they're kind of like classy games. So let's take a look at each of the 5 games in this series in no particular order. Stick collection. Hey, I like pickup sticks, and this one just comes with a bunch of sticks here, this game. And you're just trying to use your eyes to measure how tall they are. Take a look. Stick collection comes with a bunch of sticks of various sizes. You're going to put them in the box so you don't know what sizes. Each player is going to start with a stick, and you're going to spend the whole game holding the stick upright like this. In the middle of the table, you're going to have this, and each round you're going to bring out one stick and put it in it. Players can hold their own stick up, and so you'll be able to look from a distance. I mean, if you put them next to each other, you'll see the difference in the size of the sticks, but you're going to look at it from a distance, and you're trying to gauge, and then you're going to bid. So players are bidding points here. At the end of the game, wherever your token is here is how many points you get. Well, the most you can get is 22. But if you get less than 22, if you end the game at 14, then you have 14 points. So you might as well spend all the way up to 22 if you can. So you bid, and you cannot bid more than 10. So someone bids 10, the round's instantly over. But let's say purple wins, they pay their money, they take the stick. You'll put the sticks up in front of you, and this is a good stick because what you're trying to do is trying to get sticks that are 5 millimeters difference, which is the size of your scoring piece, which you can use at the end of the game to measure. During the game, real pain in the neck to figure out because you'll get some sticks, you'll be like, wow, these are close together, and they're actually 10 millimeters apart. So whoever wins it will put it there, and you'll just keep going around. Players are going to be, you'll put a stick out here, there's all sticks of different sizes. Now there are some lucky spaces here on the board. You'll see these dark ones. If you bid and land on those, then whoop, you go back to the beginning because, I don't know, I think someone had a bright idea to add that rule. The game will end when somebody has 8 sticks in their hand, or if someone runs out of money and gets to 0, or if someone has 4 sticks of the same length. Now, 4 sticks of the same length is pretty awesome. That's an automatic win. Other than that, though, you are going to measure your sticks. You're going to look for a sequence of sticks where they all go down by 5 exactly. So if these are my 4 sticks at the end, I only have this one sequence here. So that's 2 sticks, that's 20 points. And let's say I ended here, I'd have 18, 20 plus 18, 38 points. Whoever has the most points is the winner. Yeah, I'm not overly impressed with this one. It's okay. I don't get the whole lucky spot on the board because if you are, say, 7 spaces away from one of those spots, then you can bid more. You can bid 7 easily, and someone else who's not 7 away, and you can say, well, you should try to land close to those lucky spots. Why is that even in this game? It doesn't make sense. The rest of it is just kind of, can you measure how tall something is from something else? And then the scoring is a little wonky. Trying to get 4 sticks of the same color. Have fun with that. I mean, same size. They're always the same color. It's just, I don't know. This one feels like an interesting concept, but would I buy this? Would I ever play it more than once? It just, you look at it and you're like, okay, that's it. So this one is not one that I really enjoyed. Stick collection, I would rather, actually, honestly, I'd rather play pickup sticks. 5 out of 10. Viking See-Saw, you probably heard because Mike DeLisio, who, by the way, is editing this video, really likes this one a lot. This is probably the most popular of the 5 here. This is a dexterity game where you have a seesaw and you don't want the seesaw to see or saw. Let me show you. In Viking See-Saw, each player, there's a bunch of these chests here. There's 6 in the cabin and 1 here on one side. Each player is going to have some silver cubes, gold cubes, a crew member, a glass ball, metal ball, and then there's gem. So on your turn, you're going to place something on the side of the boat that's pointed upwards. If it doesn't change, you're fine. But if it does tilt, then you need to take one of these chests and put it in front of you in your area. Your area is determined by this thing that is definitely not a hair tie. And so that's just going to go back and forth. You're just going to be placing stuff on the upside of the boat. And if any time you make stuff fall off, like I just did, anything you make fall off comes back in front of you. So you have more stuff. If your own stuff falls off, you have to take one of these chests again as a penalty. You can place these chests in the future on this spot up here. And you'll see it might take a while, but as soon as you make it tilt, well, then you have to, again, take a chest from the middle. When all the chests from the cabins are gone, the game is over, and whoever has the fewest pieces win, or if someone gets rid of all their pieces first, they're the winners. This is fine. I mean, by the way, this box I don't think is a good box for this particular game. I carried this box in my bag, and it slid open and half the pieces fell out my bag. Not a big fan of that, and it's really easy to do. All the boxes that come in this series, the It Fun Brick series, you have to kind of Tetris them in. This is one of the worst. Not the worst. You'll see that in a second. But this is just put stuff on one side and let it tilt. Okay, but I've seen a gazillion of these dexterity games. You know, you can go to the mass market and buy them, and I've seen all kinds of cool ones with a floating ball, and you're putting stuff on top of that with cards like Rhino Hero, and they always seem to be like, woo! When you're done with it, you're like, woo! It's like a little dexterity game, and I guess some people will find the charm in that, but I just found it to be amusing. But if I never saw this game again, I wouldn't blink an eyeball. 6 out of 10 for me. Ninja Master, designed by the acclaimed Reiner Knizia. This is a game in which you will grab ninjas before they disappear. Or we could just say you're going to roll a bunch of dice in the middle and then grab stuff. Let me show you. In Ninja Master, you're going to be rolling dice in the middle here. There's a bunch of 5 different color ninjas here. One person will have the sword and the shuriken placed in front of them. One person's rolling the dice. Everyone else has to get in some weird ninja pose. And then you roll the dice. So once the dice have been rolled, and they definitely aren't going to bounce out every single time and knock stuff over. Anyhow, you're then going to be grabbing stuff. You can grab something with each of your 2 hands if you want to. Now, when you grab something, you're going to get points for it. So here there's 5 yellow ninjas. That's worth 5 points. This is worth 2 points. This guy's worth 3 points, and this one's worth 2. But that is a good roll. Let's see what some other rolls that might happen. See, this is a vanishing symbol. Now, if there's one vanishing symbol, let's say this is what was showing. If you grab the yellow ninja, you'll lose 5 points. But since there's 2 vanishing symbols, it's still positive and it's still 5 points. So vanishing symbols can possibly make something worth negative points if there's only one of them. There's also swords and shurikens. Now, shurikens here, that's simply just going to give a point to whoever has a shuriken. So if you have that and you roll a shuriken, yeah, you get points. If there's more swords than shurikens, then people want to grab the sword. If they do so, they will steal half of the sword owner's points. And the sword owner wants to grab it so they don't lose half of their points. Then there's one more thing going on. You want to count all the ninjas that are showing. If you can count all the ninjas that are showing, you shout it out. If you're correct, you get a point. If you're incorrect, you lose 3 points. But that also immediately ends the round. And each player has their own little board here where they're keeping track of their points. So everyone's going to count scores, and we're going to figure things out after each round. And whoever has the highest scored owns the sword, and the shuriken just passes around. As soon as someone gets to 20 points, they win the game. Of the 5 games in the It Fun Brick series, this is easily, and I mean easily, the worst. I'm giving this one a 3 out of 10. I hate it. There's just so many bad things about this game. I tried in one game of this I tried just counting the ninjas. Just count the ninjas. You only get 1 point at a time. But then you wait till someone gets a lot of points, and then it's all about grabbing that sword and stealing half of theirs. Sometimes you roll dice, and there's only 2 things to grab. And if you're playing, I mean, this game, what does it say? It goes to 5 players? I played it with 5, and it was just, it's kind of insanity without the insanity. There are lots of games where you roll things or you flip cards and grab things. And I don't actually have a problem with that genre. I don't want a ton of games in it. I don't have a problem with that genre. But in this particular one, the shuriken gives you points. Why? Just because you have it. Oh, okay. Count the ninjas and then end the round. Grab that stick, and there's too many rules for how small it is. It's also too many. This one barely fits in this box. Oh, I hate it. I don't like this one at all. So Ninja Master, don't get it. All right, I love dominoes, and Judge Domino is a game in which you're going to set up dominoes and knock them over, but then you're going to say, will it work or not? Will it fall? A new show coming to you with Judge Domino, I guess. Anyway, let me show you. There's a bunch of dominoes in here. You'll notice each domino has a number on it, and so on a player's turn, they're going to put one domino in the middle. You can place it on its side, or you can place it up like this. You can curve them if you want. You simply can't make like a circle, and you can't split them. You can't have two dominoes going off. There's not enough dominoes for that anyway. At any point, somebody thinks, hey, this is not going to work. So we put a bunch of these up, and someone says it's not going to work. At that point, they say judge. Everyone's going to have one of these chips, and you're going to guess, will it succeed or will it fail? And then they'll all reveal them, and then the active person's going to pick one, and they're going to start with the end piece that's a smaller number. So here's an 11, here's a 3. Let's see if it works. Hey, it succeeded. So if you had, say, succeeded, you'd be correct. If you had picked this, you would be incorrect. At this point, well, points are given out with these they almost look like you should throw these away, these little scoring pieces here. But anyhow, you are going to get points equal to the people whose guesses were wrong. So if everyone guesses the same thing, nothing happens. But if I guessed it's going to succeed, and Joe guessed it will succeed, but Susan, Mary, and Camilla said wrong, then me and the people who guessed right, would get 3 points each. And you keep doing that. You're going to play this for 3 rounds. You'll start another one up after 3 rounds. Whoever has the most points is the winner. This game is honestly too small. There are, like 11 dominoes in it. You set them up, you judge them, you kind of say, will it hit when it falls over? That's an interesting exercise maybe once. You do it 3 times for the full game, and then people guess or not. You can be like, I'm going to set this as far apart as I possibly can and try to get somebody to judge me. And you have just sated the entirety of the game. The numbers on the dominoes don't really matter a lot. Even if it does fall or not fall, if everyone guesses the same as you, the points don't work. This one just doesn't work as a game. It feels like an idea that someone wrote on a napkin, and then they tried it out and they're like, yeah, let's publish it. But I would not buy such a game. It wasn't like I had a terrible time with it. It just felt like nothing. I'm giving this one a 5 out of 10 because there might be an interesting concept, behind it, but the game is kind of missing from this one. 3-second try. Actually, this one reminds me of another game that's in America very popular, a 5-second countdown or something like that, where there's a spinning ball. This one is a very similar thing, but this one has a really cool centerpiece to it. Let me show you. In 3-second try, the star of this one is this piece right here. You put a ball there, it rolls down, and it's about 3 seconds, and then you hear that snap when it hits the bottom. There are 2 decks of cards here. There's a master player. This will change from turn to turn. They'll turn over brain or body. And it says, how many favorite things can you name from your childhood? They'll then drop the ball, and players will shout out a number. Maybe I can name 4 before it hits the bottom. Whoever said the highest number is going to go first. So someone else will put the ball here and drop it. Things from my childhood. So let's say someone said 7. So like, capture the flag, kick the can, hide and seek, water. As soon as the snap happens, you're done. If you haven't said it, then it goes to the person with the next highest number, and they get a chance. Otherwise, if you did succeed, then you will take the card. The first person to get 2 cards is the winner. So brain cards are things like, how many authors can you name? How many words to start with the letter A? How many things related to school can you name? Body is more physical actions. How many times can you do peekaboo? How many times can you jump? How many times can you rotate your hips like you're hula hooping? How many times can you say specific? How many stars can you draw on a sheet of paper? How many times can you lift your arms up and down? So these you actually have to physically do. That's the game. Of the Fun Brick series, this was the one that went over the best with everyone I played it with. Now, a lot of that is that 3-second thing with the metal ball snapping is such a satisfying device. And then it's also fun because this fixes a problem. There's a very popular game Richard Garfield designed called, or I don't know if it's Richard Garfield, but 15 words or less, and you get clues, and then you have to go back and forth, and whoever can get say, I can give this clue in 3 words or less. And then I do it and I mess up, but I got to play and no one else did. Here, if you do a really large number, but you mess up, then the next largest number can go. And I like that. Also, it's really like you're trying to get stuff done before it falls. Now, the physical half of the cards, not a lot of adults are going to want to do jumps or twirls or whatever the weird physical action might be. Kids, on the other hand, are going to really enjoy this one. I'm giving this one a 7, specifically for kids. What's weird is, on the box, it says 14 plus. That's insanity. This is like for 6 plus could easily play this game. It's fun. They might not, 6 might have a little bit of trouble with the bidding part, but definitely for kids, they'll really enjoy this one. 3-second try of this series, I thought it was the best game. And there you go, folks. As you can see, most of these games, not a particular big fan of, which is, again, for me, a little sad because I liked the Itten series. I think the Itten games, I usually enjoy them, but I think they do better when the games are a little bigger, when it's more of a set piece, like their game Tokyo Highway and things like that. This series, for me, feels like, again, they were constricted by the size of the boxes, had a bunch of ideas, but hey, 3-second try is one that I would recommend outside of them. Either way, that's it for today. I'm Vasel, and these have been 5 short reviews. We'll see you next time.